The next chapter we are going to do again, we are doing NCERT for class 6, chapter number 4, sorting materials into groups. Very fast I'm going to do this. This is for you, Babu. Objects around us, we see different kinds of objects. If you look in the room in which you are staying, you will see different objects around you. Yes, and we can identify all of those objects according to their characteristic. You can, if you think about color, when you touch it, whether it is hard, soft, and so on. So different. This page of NCERT textbook tells us about the variety of things that are around us, that can be seen around us. If you look at activity one, yes, you have been asked to collect things and everyday objects, and you have been asked to separate the things according to shape and so on. So we can categorize things which are big, some are small, some are very tiny, according to the material of which it is made of. Look at the table 4.1, object and the material they are made of. Plate, the utensil or the plate is a thing on which we take our food and eat. Steel, glass, plastic, it can be made of steel, glass, plastic, ceramic, and so on. Pen can be plastic or it can be of metal. Now in table 4.2, different types of objects that are made from the same material. Plastic is so very common. You get to see your pen is made of plastic. This bottle is also made of plastic. Yes, your phone also has plastic in it. So plastics can be used for making different objects. Now this is your work to see different objects used at home and materials which are used for making that object. Now these two tables are very important for you. Whatever is present in your home, try to categorize it accordingly. Let's go to the next page. Yeah, properties of material. Some properties, different objects have different properties. Yes, some of them are listed over here. We are going to discuss each of those. So properties of material, we can, first is appearance. As you can see here, it is appearance. Let me take the spotlight. Yeah, I've taken the spotlight. And then, yeah, properties of material. Whatever material is used for making a substance has a particular property. Yes, if you look at the plate on which you have your food, it may be steel, it is hard, it is shiny, it is very thin. Yes, so accordingly, different characteristics are there, different properties are there. So let's talk about the first property, which whenever we see a thing, we get to see it. Yes, so it can be shiny, it can be dull. Yes, appearance, that it tells by simply looking at it, we can tell the characteristic, and that comes under appearance. Okay, shiny, like gold is shiny. Yes, diamond is shiny. So appearance of the object is one such property of material. Next we come to hardness. How hard is it? Yes, it's not soft. If you take cotton in your hand, and if you take metal, if you take the plate and cotton in your hand, cotton, you will be able to, it is soft, whereas the plate is quite hard. So stone and cotton, think about stone and cotton. So one is very hard and the other is very soft. So that is hardness of a substance. Then comes soluble or insoluble. If you put sugar in water, it dissolves. If you put salt in water, it dissolves. Yes, but if you put sand in water, will it dissolve? No. Similarly, certain substances can disappear in water. Such substances are called soluble substances, and certain substances will not dissolve in water. Those are called insoluble substances. Let's go to the next property. Objects may float or sink in water. If you take a thermocol and put it in a bucket of water, it will always float. If you take the stone and drop it in the water, it will sink. So substances can sink, substances can float. Now, sinking and floating will depend upon the density of the substance. How much heavy the substance is compared to water. So, if it floats, it has a density less than water. If it sinks, it has a density more than water. So, oil, if you put in water, it will float over the water. So, oil has less density than water. And you can test some other liquid which you have in your house. If you pour it in water, whether it will float or sink. Right, next is transparency. Transparency is the property which allows a substance, allows light to pass through a substance. So a glass is transparent. Now there are transparency, there are categories. Some object will not allow light to pass through at all. Such objects are called opaque object. Yes, which does not allow light to pass through. The wall is opaque, the floor is opaque. These objects will not allow light to pass through it. But if you look at glass, some of the glasses will allow some amount of light to pass through it. Those substances are called translucent. And that which allows 100% light to pass through it are called transparent. So glass can be transparent, glass can be translucent. All other objects are opaque object. So that comes under transparency. Transparency means whether light can pass through the object or not. The same thing has been discussed over here. I hope you have understood. We can always go back to the topic. This I have done just to, because you need it right now, so I have done it. I'll deal with it in more detail later on.